The desk was empty. John was gone, suspended. But the silence he left behind felt louder than any shout had ever been. For Paul, the classroom was different now. Not just quieter, but calmer. He looked at John's vacant seat, then down at his own hands resting on his desk. The constant weight of fear he'd been carrying seemed to have lifted just a little. That day in class, something shifted. The teacher asked for a volunteer to lead the next group project. Before he could second-guess himself, Paul's hand was in the air. When he was called on, he stood up. His voice, once a timid whisper, came out steady and clear as he explained his idea. For the first time, he spoke without flinching, without waiting for a shove or a jeer that never came. He stepped into the space John had left. Not with arrogance, but with a quiet confidence he didn't know he had. Around him, his classmates didn't snicker. They listened. Some nodded in agreement, a few even offered small, encouraging smiles. It was a simple reaction, but it felt monumental. Paul's courage was like a small spark in the room, reminding everyone that every voice deserves to be heard, that strength isn't about being the loudest. It's about being true to yourself. In that moment, the classroom wasn't just a group of students, it felt like a community finding its balance again. But while Paul was finding his voice, John was sitting in silence. Far from the school hallways, his own world had shrunk to the four walls of his bedroom. The anger that had fueled him for so long was gone, replaced by a heavy, suffocating quiet. He sat on the edge of his bed, just staring at the floor, the echoes of the fight, the principal's stern words, and his father's explosive rage replaying in his mind. The storm had passed, leaving behind a wreckage he didn't know how to navigate. Looking out the window, he saw the world moving on without him. His mother moved quietly around the house, the air still thick with the aftermath of the police visit. The chaos he had created outside had finally found its way inside, not just into his home, but into him. For the first time, John began to wonder if the real storm wasn't what he caused, but what was raging inside of him all along. He was alone with his thoughts, and for someone who always had an audience, it was terrifying. So, here we have two boys, on two very different paths. One is stepping forward into the light, finally free to be himself. The other is forced to look back, to confront the shadows he has created. Their journeys are separate for now, but they are still connected. What happens when one person's peace is built on another's consequence? Part 13 will explore how the truth begins to build a bridge across the distance that now separates them. Thanks for watching Creative Talk, and we'll see you in the next part.